Hello, everybody. I want to go over your value drawing project. So this is one of our main ones. It's our first one that we do. So it typically kind of gets us kind of into the mode because when you think of drawing, you think of drawing with pencils. So I want to go over the project so you have a better understanding of what possibilities that you have. So you can pull your worksheet out. You might have a digital copy or a hard copy, so whatever works. So on this, let me zoom in just a little bit more. It kind of outlines a few things. So first off, it says categories and interests. It says how a pencil is made. It comes down here, talks about criteria. So the first thing is that when I teach art, I do my best job to teach techniques and let you decide on what the subject matter is. So our medium are the drawing pencils that you have. Our subject matter is what you want to draw. Now, I have my own things that I like. Hopefully, I mean, you have your own things. Sometimes it's a little hard for us to kind of figure that out sometimes. And other people know, like, yep, I know what I'm doing. We'll kind of go from there. With both people, I like to take a step back with the ones who already know what they want to do. And I want to kind of guide the ones who don't know what they're going to do. So here I have categories, and this has to get filled out. And you can either do this digitally or you can have the hard copy and then you can take a picture of it when you're all done, whatever works for you. So it says your interests. So I could look at the categories here in music and I could think of individual bands. One band that I like is Skillet. So I could put that down here. Now, if I don't know who Skillet is, I might think of, why are you drawing like a utensil for my kitchen? But so you might want to go into just a little detail on there if it's something like that. But I could list, like 3 or 4 bands across here. And then I think about their logo. I think about, maybe have any photographs of their stuff or anything like that. One thing I do want to stress, this is a value drawing, which means it has to go from light to dark. If you have a graphic, like the Green Bay Packers, not only is that like way too simple for this project, because this project should take you roughly, when I try to do this, I do them in 3-week intervals. So we spend a lot of class time drawing. So it should represent a lot of class time drawing as you kind of work on this. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're considering this. It has video games here. Same thing is like, you can think of the games you might play on your app. Right now I play Bloons Tower Defense. But I'm pretty sure, I'd have to look at it, that those are more graphics. They don't have that 3-dimensional feel to it, where it might go from like a dark red to a light red to something else. I'd have to look into that. Otherwise, animals, mythology, I love mythology and fantasy stuff. So like, I'm thinking of like the head of Medusa, what might be kind of fun. This guy right here is from a famous artist named H.R. Geiger. He did a lot of the Aliens versus Predator movies. They took his stuff and kind of turned it into it. Comics, sports, movies, and even movies. You think of a movie like, think of what the girl's long hair, Rapunzel, Tangled. Think of that movie. The newer Disney movies, when you turn those into black and white, I can kind of do your color switch since we're all technology now based, and see what it looks like in black and white. You have your values, you have your darks and your dark grays, middle grays, and all that stuff. Now you take an older one, like Bambi, for example, and those are all flat. I mean, you could find ones where people went in and edited it, but I want to make sure that we are on the same page, that you need to find something that has values, multiple blacks and grays and whites and stuff like that. Cartoons, hunting, holidays, vacation spots. You maybe have photographs from a vacation you took. Instruments, books, clothing, memories, photos. Go through your phone and see what you got. If you want to draw a person, a friend, you're more welcome to do that. But drawing people is one of the harder things to do because there's so many little details that make us who we are, in terms of everything to kind of consider. So down here, so there's 12 things you need to write down. Now, you don't write down the word movie. You write down what that movie is, And you can even start writing down the characters. So in just this one spot, if I really love, um, um, what is that called? Mario Brothers. I could write every character on there if I want to, and then I know what I'm going to do. Okay, if you're really into Pokemon, because my son and I play that. He's 8 years old, and we play that. I could write down 12 different characters, that I could look at. So it's for you to kind of get an idea. Once you have your 12, circle like one or two of them at least, because when you go in and start figuring out what you want to do, it'll give you some guidance. Okay. Over here says how a pencil is made. You can copy and paste that, or you can type in how a pencil is made on YouTube. It should be 5 minutes and 42 seconds long. Watch it, and then you can write down 5 things you learned on that. Coming down here, it says, what criteria did you use in ultimately selecting the piece you drew? So 1, 2, 3. So whatever you decide on here, write down why you chose that. It even gets specifically after you find it online and you find 3 different things, and then you have to put them on a Google Doc, and then we discuss on what you're going to do. You could even at that point decide why I chose this deer versus this deer. Okay, what was it that separated but the interest level that you have for it? What were those? That's called criteria. Well, this one's more complicated. I felt like I could challenge myself. This one, I just like the position of the head better on the deer. So why is it that you select that piece? And how do you connect with the images that you selected for this project? For example, again, my son and I play Pokemon. The reason why I'm connected to Pokemon is because I love my son, and it's something that we do together. So that's my connection. What is your connection with what you draw? That you're connected with. This goes over basic directions. You can kind of read that. You don't have to do anything. Here's a couple tips from teacher and students. These are past examples. I don't do this anymore because we have Artsonia, which I'll show you here right now. But these are different examples of students that I've had as a drawing one student do. Okay, let me go to Artsonia. If you're new to Artsonia, you can go to Platteville, if I can spell it, which I did not. Platteville. Sorry about that. And then here's Platteville High School. Your page is going to be looking different because it's going to have different pictures. Middle school, elementary, and then the tri-state home group in town. It doesn't use it. So we can go down. So you can find whatever year you want to go to. You scroll down. It is alphabetical, so art, metals, and jewelry. Keep scrolling. It's a choice. Okay, drawing one. Drawing one, colored pencil. Drawing one. Here it is. Drawing one, value drawing. So I can see it has 39 pieces in here, 14 comments, 38 statements, which means somebody did not put a statement on their drawing. So this is what my class did in 2019, 2020, both semester 1 and semester 2. So this is how they interpreted it. So I had one person do a fox, an architecture. Somebody took a picture of their dog and drew their dog. I had a picture of one of their ancestors. Somebody like cows. I forgot what game, not game, but anime show that was on. Maybe it was a video game. I can't remember. But you can kind of go through here, and I like it. And I had one person say I can add a little color. That's fine, as long as a majority of your project has the values. Like this is a good example of values because it has some nice, really good blacks, dark grays, light grays, and whites. You need to have that. If you have something that has too much white or too much black, that doesn't show that even balance. This student had some kind of damage done to the outside here. We ended up cutting it out with an X-Acto blade and then putting a color sheet of paper behind it. There you go. If you like that look, by all means, you can do that as you try to figure things out. Now, when I look for a balance in an object, I'm looking at the main piece itself. I don't worry so much about the background. So don't worry, you have to fill that in. When I'm looking at that even mix of values, I'm looking within the piece itself. Okay. There is when you get into Arsonia and upload thing, there is something where you can hit a black and white selection. So when you take a photo of it, sometimes it gets a little yellowy. That is corrected. That is easily corrected on Arsonia. Just kind of a heads up. So these are some examples. These are pretty cool and clean of what was done, and you can even tell what grade level these students were in during that year. Okay. So let me go back to our worksheet here. This is what I'm grading on. Students will learn how to create a smooth gradient. We'll learn to create a smooth gradient in many areas. So I'm looking for lots of examples in your piece where it goes from that black, dark gray, middle gray, light gray, and white. 30% of your grade is based on that. Students will learn how to draw with a high level of craftsmanship. So 30% of your grade is based on how well you can draw. If you draw a duck, does it look like a duck? Are the proportions right? Are the details and the feathers there and stuff like that. And then students will learn how to balance the values in equal parts. Okay. Now, last thing I want to quickly talk about is I'm going to go on to value drawing Google Slides. So on this, you have access to this. You'll click on it. Here's my example. Is on this one, you will select your own. But I want you to put down 3 examples up here of what you want to do. And then you're going to write down why you want, like which one you really want to do. And then explain why you might want to do the other 2. And then I write my response here. And if I say it sounds great, then you can go for it. Now I'm going to take the one that I feel meets it, and I'll bring it over here. It'll be something like this. And I'll do this. It's a little laggy because I'm videotaping the same time. Bring this down. Is I set it up so you can grid it if you want to. Okay. And this is pretty nice. Now you can print this off if I can't, get it to you. Otherwise, if you are in class, I can print it off and then you have it. And it's just a gridded piece. So then you have your 12 by 18 sheet of paper. You can divide that up, equally, and then you can break, instead of having one large drawing, you have 4 smaller drawings to help you draw it out. Okay, I'm just going to kind of put this back on here. Any Control Z, there we go. So you're going to have access to this. You put your name down, put down 3 or 4 if you want to, and then tell me in order of which one you want to do. If I feel like your piece is way too simple, I will let you know that. And if you still want to do it, you can, but understand that there are things that I'm looking to grade. So if I see that you have no gradients on there, I can't give you that 30%. Okay. So, and if I don't feel like it has a high level of craftsmanship, like there's details within the piece itself, I can't give you that 15%. Okay. So I want to make sure that whatever you select, you have a good chance of getting a good grade on the project. Okay. Other than that, I think that's about it. So just let me know if you have any questions, and good luck on the project.